That's right. It's time again for a new CSX Live. A very good evening. It is the 29th of April. It's 8 p.m. and then you know exactly what time it is. It's time for a new guest here at our Cornerstone Live. And do we have a special guest with us tonight? Somebody that I've been looking forward to interview for quite some time. When I heard that he was available and that he was open to do a session with us, then I couldn't wait to get ready. And finally, the moment has come. We are going to interview today Mr. Andy Chua. He's Executive Director at Guocoland Malaysia, and we have some great questions prepared. And the only thing that I want you to do right now for me, because you know how it is, right? These people, you know, they take their precious time, you know, in the evening to spend about 1 hour with us. So do me a huge favor. People at Cornerstone, people who are watching this, do me a huge favor and share this with all your friends, families, colleagues, everybody out there, because I'm very sure that what Mr. Andy Chua is going to share with us tonight, many people would like to know that. His experience as an executive director of Guocoland Malaysia. But did you know that Mr. Andy Chua has a huge experience also with other property developments? On top of that, he travels a lot, so he will be sharing with us a lot tonight on the property market, what's happening with the developers. On top of that, the direction that Guocoland is going and how they are managing this MCO right now, and so much more. So I see a lot of people coming in. Hi, Scott, Genji, Eugene, I see, Andy, so many people coming in right now. We're really growing a big public right now. And that is really what we want to see, right? So again, a very big welcome here at CSX Live. I'm always so privileged and so honored that I can do these sessions, because having the chance to interview these masterminds, these brains, you know, these people that are managing these huge companies, these huge development companies in Malaysia, you know, you want to understand how they think, how they strategize, how they, you know, how do they adapt to a situation like here with an MCO, right? And we have been already learning so many things in the past few weeks. But tonight, we really have a good one. With us tonight is here Mr. Andy Chua. So before we get started, like we said, right, he's Executive Director of Marketing and Sales of Guocoland Malaysia. And as we all know, many of us already know Guocoland. Huge company, very, very big group. It's a Bhd company, so on the Bursa Malaysia. But on top of that, maybe there are some things that we don't know yet, right? Many of us know the developments that they are doing. We all know Damansara City, but what else are they doing out there? And I'm very excited to talk to Mr. Andy tonight to see what is going to happen. Hi, Carl. Hi, Mervyn. Hi, Angeline. Hi, Ryan. Hi, welcome, everybody. And make sure to share this with your friends, with your families, with everybody around there, because, ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. Andy here tonight of Guocoland Malaysia. Now, before we get started, you know, I can share a lot with you about Guocoland. I also know Guocoland as a very big development company. They're definitely one of the top developers here in Malaysia. But on top of that, you also know them in Singapore, connected under the Hong Leong group, of course. But I can talk a lot about Guocoland. But you know what? Luckily, their marketing department sent us a video, and they can explain much better what Guocoland or the Hong Leong Group is all about.
Hong Leong Group is a leading conglomerate in Malaysia with diversified businesses in banking and financial services, manufacturing and distribution, property development and investments, hospitality and leisure, and principal investment with presence in North and Southeast Asia, Western Europe and the UK, North America and Oceania. Guocoland Malaysia Bhd, listed on the main market of Bursa Malaysia Securities Bhd and the property arm of Hong Leong Group, is an established award-winning property developer with a proven track record in developing innovative residential townships, commercial and integrated development projects in Malaysia. Guocoland Malaysia is a subsidiary of the Singapore-based Guocoland Limited. The multi-award-winning premier regional property player with established operations in Singapore, China, Malaysia, and Vietnam.
Well, that is quite an impressive video you got there, Mr. Andy. Good evening.
Good evening, Taco. Good evening, everybody.
Thank you so much for being with us tonight here, Mr. Andy. How are you this evening?
I'm okay. I'm good. Just call me Andy will do.
Andy, yes, you said that already to me. Yeah. Habits, right? So again, a very good evening, Andy, and welcome to the Cornerstone Live. We are going to have a great session with you tonight. A big welcome again to all our guests. But Andy, is it okay if I just do a quick introduction of who you are before we get started?
Yeah. Hi. My name is Andy Chua.
Sorry, Andy. Yeah. I will do an introduction for you, and after that, I will. Then we go into because I have this beautiful introduction that you have right here. So let me just go through it very quickly so that everybody knows who Mr. Andy Chua is, right? So Andy has more than 20 years experience in the property development industry, encompassing various aspects of the development process, especially in business planning, marketing, sales, leasing, customer service, and operational management. After completing his education in marketing management, Andy joined the Singaporean commercial bank for 7 years, during which he gained valuable experiences in various operations of that bank. Thereafter, Andy decided to change his career into an industry which he has much interest in, property development. Prior to his current position as Executive Director, Marketing and Sales in Guocoland, Malaysia, Andy has worked with several public listed property development companies in Malaysia, such as IOI Properties, Mines Resort, and Masing Group, and many more. In those companies, Andy held positions such as Senior Marketing Manager, Director of Marketing, and COO, and was responsible for delivering revenue and profits and managing a broad spectrum of operations in various projects. Projects that Andy worked on encompass different types of property within townships, high-rise, and integrated developments. Being someone who is always keen to explore new ideas and markets, Andy has traveled to many countries such as Singapore, Hong Kong, China, South Korea, Japan, Australia, UAE, Bahrain, and UK throughout his property career. Again, a very good evening and a big welcome to Mr. Andy Chua.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Andy, again, very grateful that you're here with us tonight. Most people, like I said, they see the intro video that we just have shown them. However, for people that don't know Guocoland that well, right, could you give us a little bit more information about the company?
Yeah, Guocoland is basically the property development arm of Hong Leong Group, which have a wide range of companies in a lot of countries. But basically, we have about 14 listed companies in 5 countries throughout the world. And there are many more not listed companies in other parts of the world as well, operating in other parts of the world. And generally, we operate in financial sectors, manufacturing, distribution, property development, infrastructure development. And that is how big Hong Leong is. Of course, in Malaysia, Hong Leong Group is very well known for our Hong Leong Bank as well, which is one of the largest banks in Malaysia. Guocoland, we are a foreign development company because our headquarters are headquartered in Singapore, right? So we are listed in Singapore and we are also listed in Malaysia. So, and we have operations as well in China. We have been in China doing property development since 1994. Yeah, so basically that's about Guocoland.
Wow! Thank you so much for explaining that a little bit. Really huge company, many arms in the company. What I understand, doing the research. What I understand is that Guocoland is developing community-centric residential townships as well as integrated development projects in Malaysia. What was let's say, the initial drive for Guocoland to focus in these areas?
Okay, since the new management team came on board, led by our Group Managing Director, Dr. Edmund Kong, we have been trying to position Guocoland as the inventors of livability for today, tomorrow, and the future. What do we mean? We want to be a sustainable brand, not just about being green, but also about the quality of living and communal space for our purchasers and our customers. To us, it means providing practical solutions that enhances the living experience while safeguarding long-term values for our customers and the vibrancy of communal integration. Because in any development, whether it be township or integrated development, we believe that in the future, what is all about communal integration and how vibrant are those communities. okay, to make it more sustainable. And with that in mind, design is first and foremost in our process. Sustainable design drives livability. A good example of this direction is our development in Cheras called Emerald Hill, whereby we will be delivering a one-of-its-kind development, which is low in density, comprising condominiums and terrace houses, where ample open spaces is centered around a 2.3 acres lake with a residence clubhouse at its edge. Community facilities and integration is abound with various spaces such as leisure parks, hill tracks, pavilions, activity decks, and residence clubhouse. So Emerald Hills embodies what we are trying to do. It's the first project that we put in the new concept of what we mean by livability, inventors of livability. So deservingly, Emerald Hills has been recognized by the Star Property Awards as the best family-centric development in 2019. Right.
Nice.
So once completed, we believe that Emerald Hills will be the most livable development in Cheras.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, I done some research. I saw in Cheras. Yeah, we also will talk later a little bit about Rawang area. You were talking about the inventor of livability. We'll also talk about that, but there's also another part in your brand tagline that struck me and that grabbed my attention. That are two beautiful words that is called beyond expectations, right? Beautiful, you know, how developers also beautifully always explain how they want to go to the next level, right? Could you please tell us a little bit more what you really mean with beyond expectations?
I see you seem to have a heads up on a new branding initiative. It's still pretty much a secret.
Oh, a secret. Oh, okay. Yeah. I found it online.
Yeah. We are launching it soon, but in the next couple of months. But anyway, beyond expectation is our adopted DNA and belief moving forward in how our team provide experience and values to our fellow colleagues, customers, partners, and shareholders. So be it design, build quality, customer or service experience, property delivery, or any other touch points, we hope we want to give the experience of beyond expectations to be our norm, right? So that means when you think of Guocoland, you think of beyond expectations. This is also inspired by the achievement of our executive chairman, Tan Sri Kwek Ling Chan, who has done tremendously with our Hong Leong Group success in Asia and worldwide as well. So that's all I can say for now, because we have yet to launch this beyond expectation initiative.
Okay, very good, very good. I'm already looking very much forward to it. First of all, compliments on the tagline. I think it's very catchy, very grabby. It touches a very big group of people beyond expectations, and I'm sure that Guocoland always tries to deliver beyond expectations. Now, before we move forward, Andy was so kind to give me permission to tell the group that if you have any questions for Andy tonight, feel free to put it in the comment box. But before you're allowed to ask a question, make sure you share our channel first to all your friends and families, because they will be happy to also see Mr. Andy here with us tonight to share all the experiences with Guocoland. But we're also going to dive right now a little bit deeper on his MCO experiences together with Guocoland. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to put it in the comment box and I will make sure to pass it on to Andy. Andy, before we go a little bit deeper to Guocoland and the developments, right? I just want to have your take on everything that is happening in the world right now, right? Global pandemic. In Malaysia, we have the MCO. Now, recent, we have the extension till the 12th of May. You know, I'm interested to know from your perspective, at your level at Guocoland, right? At what point do you think an extension will start to have a much bigger impact in the property market?
I think, in my opinion, pandemic in Malaysia too, and the imposition of MCO, it does not matter when does the MCO ends or how long it will be extended. I think more importantly is that we keep the virus in check, we keep the outbreak in check, but definitely the dynamics of property market in Malaysia has changed, especially in how we market and sell property and also provision of services to our customers. adoption of technology and online interaction is now the new norm. During MCO, we are all staying at home. Most of us, I believe, have adapted well, whether we are working from home, participated in online meetings, attended webinars on various topics from medical briefings, economic updates, cooking demonstrations, exercise programs, and including property-related topics like this one. As such, I believe a lot of property developers and real estate agents alike to focus more on electronic marketing and e-solutions such as mobile apps and online portals. So this, of course, is one impact that I think every one of us have to adapt to or adjust to, and have to take on to it, and adapt it and use it to our advantage. The other impact, of course, is what is all about bread and butter, which is about number of transactions in the property market. Definitely, it has declined due to the uncertainty of job security and business sustainability, especially in the SME sector. Many have predicted that it will be similar to the last major economic crisis, 1997. However, I would say that I don't think the impact will be as great because I believe our financial system is much stronger now. And generally, business owners are now more resilient with better financial planning. Therefore, if you are looking for property market, right, I would say yes, they are affected, but you should try to buy properties from established developers, reputable developers with good concept, in sought after locations and the right packaging. I believe the property market for those developers and those locations and those concept developments will still be okay. So purchasers should still look into such developments. Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's a very good point. I like your take on it. That basically it will keep moving, but basically as we're going all online, basically the reputation of good development, good developers is going to be more important than ever because then people are comfortable to do transactions online. Basically, that's what you're saying, right? Yes, wonderful. Let's go a step back, right? Let's go to, let's say, 2019. It's kind of pre-MCO, right? 2020 is already a weird year for us. So let's go a little bit history, 2019. How was the property development progressing, in 2019 for Guocoland?
Generally, 2019, the property market in 2019 is at a plateau. Of course, some people say that it hasn't bottomed out, but to me, I think it has reached a plateau. Ready to bounce up, but then MCO came in, right? So of course, everything is the growth or the timing, the rebound is thrown into disarray. But for us, we have done pretty well because our developments are well conceptualized and they are all in good locations. So we still enjoy good take-ups. For example, in Cheras, Emerald 9, we launched it towards the second half of last year. And we enjoyed 80% sales for our first tower within a month of launch, which is we have done very well. And during the last 6 months of 2019, the government also have extended the home ownership campaign, which everyone knows, and enhanced with our own. We also came up with our own campaign called BEST, which is Buy with Ease, Save and Treasure campaign. All our developments in Cheras, whether it's Emerald 9, Emerald Hills, or our township development in Rawang, Emerald Rawang, all of them did quite well. Especially Garland, which Cornerstone is also helping us to sell, has done tremendously well. We sold more than 90%, during that period. Yeah.
Wow, amazing. So yeah, those are some quite interesting and also very impressive numbers. So plateaued, and you already said it, and then suddenly this pandemic came, this MCO came in, right? So usually that has a huge effect, of course, on a big company like Guocoland. So what has mainly changed over the past weeks since the MCO started? So basically, what impact does the whole global situation have on the company plans moving forward?
Okay, for us, I think we have to look at, like you said, the world economy, because that's affecting Malaysia as well. COVID-19 is definitely a worldwide pandemic. You can see the number of countries that has been affected, and the bigger countries are having more and more cases. Like for example, US, Europe, I think they are still experiencing it badly. So definitely, China just came out of it. US is affected. Europe is affected. So definitely, the world economies are affected. So everybody is looking towards business sustainability, the investment appetite, and the market sentiments in general is very weak. Everybody is looking towards reduced growth or no growth, things like that. So for us in Guocoland, since the start of prior to the start of MCO, we have actually put in place our business continuity plan, and thereafter we have initiated plans to help ease the burden of our purchasers. Firstly, for our existing purchasers, we actually deferred their payments until August 2020 for those who are affected. And secondly, we have launched a GLM Got You campaign where new buyers can book our properties with a very low down payment. And if the bank loan is not approved, we refund the deposit as well. And we also came up with promotional rebates, complimentary documentation fees, reduced payment during construction period, and other incentives. For completed properties, the incentives are even better. So I would say do click on our Facebook accounts for various projects and website for more information and buy it now under the Got You campaign. All right.
Very true. Very.
Yeah. As for our plan for new launches, we are still planning for 2 more launches this year, and other than that, I think most of them will be launched next year or the year after.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, and as a company, we are also still on the lookout for good, new land development opportunities. So if you do come across good land, please contact us. We are still for development. Yes.
Well, you're very lucky. There's quite a large number of agents watching us right now. So you have heard it, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Andy is requesting for a serious piece of land. So wake up. If you're asking for opportunities, it's right here on the Cornerstone Live channel, right? So thank you so much for that. And just to add on your, we will definitely share also the link for Guocoland with all the developments, but you can also find them on the website of Guocoland. Very easy to find, of course, online. So thank you for that explanation. Now, Mr. Andy, I hope you don't mind me asking, right? So you talked about the company, right? I would like to talk a little bit about you as an executive director for marketing and sales. You're probably extremely busy handling multiple developments, right? Now suddenly your whole team, including yourself, have to work from home, right? What steps are you currently taking as the executive directors to make sure that your team and the projects keep thriving?
Okay, during this time, I think the team, we have quite a young team in Guocoland, and they are all quite savvy in terms of social media and internet usage and all the various internet platforms, online platforms. But the message to them is basically we have to remain resilient during this change. We have to persevere. We have to adapt to the market condition. It's definitely a challenging environment. All right. So this is even more important for us now to actually look into our sustainable practices in our business strategies. All right. So the team actually immediately, we started marketing online, and we actually start reaching out to new customers, and we came up with a new campaign called GLM Got You. GLM stands for Guocoland Malaysia. All right. And so we actually have quite a few sales, actually quite encouraging sales from all our online initiatives. We have done quite a lot of work in reaching out, and basically our projects are all doing quite okay. Of course, it's not as good as before MCO. That is definite, because it's very restrictive. Some customers say they want to visit our gallery, but our galleries are all closed. So what we have is 360 degrees VR tour, and we also have our sales staff, very, very resourceful. They have actually come up with their own tips on their projects, right? So every week they will share certain selling point of their project online in our Facebook accounts and all that. So moving forward, definitely we hope to come up with more innovative ways to sell our property, and also to offer options, all right, for our customers during this pandemic, and we are also looking into more online collaborations, such as today with Cornerstone, and then this Saturday we also have another online collaboration with respected personality Dato' Joey Yap this Saturday at 2:30 p.m.
Nice.
I thought, yeah, at our Emerald 9 Facebook page. So do join us then as well. And we are lining up more activities online for our purchasers or anybody interested in Guocoland properties. Yeah. So,
very good.
Yeah. So for us, we are definitely prepared for this challenging property market, and we want to use this opportunity to intensify our digital engagements. All right. So our staff, as a whole, as Guocoland itself, not just marketing and sales, we are all working from homes, using collaboration tools, and then our customer care personnel are also staying in touch with our customers, through various online means, whether it's messaging apps or email and so forth. And we want to stay relevant, in this environment. Okay.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and also feel free to, like I said, log into our Facebook, our website. You can actually view our sales galleries and our showrooms virtually. All right.
Yeah.
Everything is there. Yeah.
Finally, those real virtual reality softwares come in handy right now during this MCO, I guess, right? Now that they're there, right? So that's very good. You were mentioning, so you have an event, you said this Saturday, right? At what time?
At 2:30 p.m. with
2:30 p.m.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, very good. And they can see that on your Facebook page, right?
Yeah. Emerald.
Okay, very good. We will make sure to also share that, and also, of course, attend that. We would love to see how much more there is to share. So we went to the past, we went to the present. Let's have a look at the future, shall we? Let's just assume, right? Nobody knows, but just assume that the MCO will be lifted on the 12th of May. What are your expectations to happen in the property market? So what are the So first of all, let's start with what are your expectations? Where is the property market going after the MCO?
I believe right now a lot of people are predicting what will happen, after MCO. A lot of people are making a lot of predictions, but I think generally nobody is going to get it right, because I believe that you do not know the impact until it happens. Right? Yeah. You can try to prepare for it, but I think the buying sentiment, definitely most people, or maybe a section of the people, will be adopting a wait and see attitude. All right, they want to wait further, but then sometimes when you wait, you lose good opportunity. All right, but I do understand for people who wants to wait and see, because they are focused on bread and butter issues, and then they want to see where is it going and all that. So. But for us, I believe that if, let's say, you're looking for a house, now is a good time, because Guocoland, we are giving a very good package for all our customers. Like I mentioned to you, we have a campaign called GLM Got Chill, and property being to me is a stable investment. If you look at it medium term or long term, or you need a roof over your head, and I believe the property market should not be that affected. I believe so, but I do not know. Some customers feel that they want to wait and see. But for me, I'm still on the lookout for good property to buy.
Very good. I found it very interesting that you mentioned, right, that a lot of people try to make predictions. You also see a lot of media, come out with news articles. News has to sell, right? So they have a little bit of a negative approach on the market. I believe, based on what you said, it's just almost impossible to make a prediction, right, on what is going to happen, because this is a complete new experience. Nobody can really take a previous experience and compare it with what's happening right now. Am I correct?
Yes, agree.
Okay, very good. So moving forward, let's thank you for your take on the future, right? Let's look a little bit closer at the developments of Guocoland, right? At the current moment, Guocoland is developing, and correct me if I'm wrong, a 1,000-acre master planned township in Rawang called Emerald Rawang, if I'm correctly. Could you explain a little bit the vision and the idea behind such an enormous project?
Okay, Rawang is basically very close to Kuala Lumpur. Those, I'm sure most of you know where is Rawang. In fact, traveling there is only about 40 minutes, so it's pretty close. And in that location, we have a development called Emerald Rawang. Basically, it's about a 1,000-acre development. We have 2 precincts, Emerald East and Emerald West. And when this township was conceptualized, there are 5 design elements to it. Basically, we wanted to make it a sustainable township where we have product diversity, and then we have neighborhood hubs, and then we have a lot of amenities. And at the same time, we are also thinking about the safety and security of the community living there. So that's the reason why we came up with dedicated pedestrian and cycling path, pedestrian-friendly streetscape, safer communities, and parks, are all well lit. And we have also good security control. Then at the same time, the third point, we are also looking at easy accessibility, where we have a central park, and then there's walking distance to amenities, continuous pathways, green lanes, cycling lanes. And fourth, we really, really encourage community living in our concept, in our design, in our master planning. So we have community spaces for various age groups with a lot of activities. And also, the fifth point is we are encouraging a lot of more healthy lifestyle, because we believe that in future, that's what communities are looking for, a healthier lifestyle, right? So we do have spaces for sports and recreation and so forth. So when we mention community spaces and healthy lifestyle, we are coming up with a clubhouse for the community, which we expect to complete maybe 2021, because it's definitely derailed by MCO, right? So everything is a stop work now, everywhere. So but we still hope to complete within 2021 if possible. There we have basically developed about 60% of the entire township. We still have around close to about 40%. And right now we have some phases for launching. One that I mentioned, Garland, which we have sold close to 100% now. And we are coming up, we have a project called Mellow, all right? This is a cluster home, it's something like a semi-D, attached semi-D. So we are going to launch it probably towards the second half of this year. And further than that, we also have other, phases. So do look out for, Emerald Rawang registration if you are interested in any of the developments there. But definitely it's a township that you want to stay in, because we have taken, when the new team came in, they have taken, the development, and we undergone a redesign and replanning exercise where we put in, large landscapes of greenery, and we have also put in, like I said, the clubhouse, and we have a central park, 36-acre central park, with a lake that is covering about 15 acres with lavish green corridors and a lot of amenities, 40-kilometer jogging track and loop, and then play, walks, pathways. So definitely, it's something to look forward to. If you are looking for a green development, a sustainable development, in a very well planned township, and it's very near to Kuala Lumpur. Yeah.
Beautiful. Just to out of curiosity for myself, you mentioned, right? It's not that far, right? I heard from people who said, "Oh, Rawang is pretty far, right?" But then I actually also drove there up a few times, and actually it's pretty fast, right? I mean, if you go on the highway, you're there in no time. Now you almost have fully sold out Garland, but now you're going to launch Malo soon. What type of person or what type of buyer do you think would be most interested in the Malo project?
I think we are looking at definitely upgraders. If you are staying in a terrace house now, you would want to upgrade to a semi-D, right? Where you have a land area of 32 feet by 70 feet, and a build-up, a sizable build-up. And The density is also pretty low. We have only 196 units over 226.3 acres, and it's very close to the Central Park that I mentioned. It's actually next to it, just next to it. So, and you can stay in a very nice environment, and the price is very reasonable.
Yeah. Wonderful, yeah. I've been to your beautiful sales gallery up there in Rawang. It's absolutely amazing. I recommend everybody to go there and have a look. Your mind will be blown because it's really great what they're building over there. Let's move from the north of Kuala Lumpur. Let's move a little bit to the southeast, if you will, right? In Cheras, right? You already mentioned it in the beginning. Guocoland also has 2 sizable projects in Cheras at the moment. I think it's the freehold Emerald Hills and Emerald 9, right? Could you share maybe a little bit more about those 2 developments?
Okay, firstly, I will talk about Emerald Hills, which I have shared some details earlier. Basically, Emerald Hills is in Alam Damai, Cheras, so it's still a KL address, all right? So it's about 47.36 acres, and we have 21 acres of open space. All right, so you imagine you have 47 acres to develop, and we dedicated 21 acres for open space. All right, and we have a 2.3 acre, privately owned lake within the development. All right, density is definitely very low. We are only, doing about planning of 33 units per acre, where we have, garden terraces, which is terrace houses, and two-story and 3-story. And we have 4 towers of condominiums facing the lake. So definitely is a very nice development. It also has a residence clubhouse that I mentioned earlier, and it's gated, guarded, of course. And a lot of the technology, the new building tech, that we can incorporate, we try to incorporate into this development as well. And of course, like in terms of activities, we have our E-deck for both North Tower and South Tower, and also the house. So if the residents of Emerald Hills basically can use all the facilities in the residence clubhouse and also the E-deck of the residential towers, all right, the condominium towers. So I think this is one of the unique point about Emerald Hills. In other developments, you use the facilities in your own tower, all right? You cannot share facilities with another tower. But here, we allow our residents to use all the facilities available in all both the 2 towers and the residence clubhouse. So, right, you will never run out of activities. That's all I can say, right? And we also have, like I said, a private lake, and then we have a jogging track around it, cycling track, and we also have a jungle track. We track up the hill behind, which is a green lung area. Okay, and here, our development, we also have shuttle bus running to the nearby, shopping malls, the UCSI college, university, and so forth. So this development definitely, to me, is one of its kind in Cheras. Yeah, so if you're one of its kind. If you're looking for green living, sustainable living, yet so close to city center, this is the development for you.
Yeah. First of all, the location is absolutely amazing. Cheras is a high demand location already, and the specific location of the towers is really great. Same question as we just did with Rawang, right? What specific buyer do you think would be most attracted to both towers?
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, in Emerald Hills is definitely a family-centric development, right?
Yeah.
So looking for own stay, and you want to have a nice place for your family, for your kids to run around, to have an active lifestyle, and a clean environment, green environment, sustainable environment. I think Emerald Hills is the right place for you. Yeah. If you are looking for convenience, then it will be our next project, which is Emerald 9, also in Cheras. Yeah. So that you correctly pointed it out. Cheras, a lot of people say that it's not a good place to stay in, but I beg to differ, right? Why? Because Cheras is actually very close to KL City, and it has been neglected over the years. Many developers avoided Cheras because there are a lot of small pockets of development in Cheras. So a lot of developers naturally want to look for areas that is clean, where they can develop big developments, huge township and all that kind of thing. So that's why, you have areas like Puchong, Subang Jaya, all that, which is very, very far away from KL City Centre, and they start building nice, well-planned development. But in Cheras, we still see that there's a lot of opportunities. Why? Because of the proximity, and also, of course, the new MRT line, that came on towards 2018, 2019, that actually helped, the development in Cheras. And Emerald 9 is one such development that took advantage of the MRT line in Cheras. It's located within 400 meters of the MRT line, so it's technically a transit-oriented development where we have an integrated development concept for Emerald 9, where you have various components. You have residences, you have shops, you have offices, and here the concept is basically a shared community. It's community living. So it's what we call a a convenience, more of a convenience. So if you're looking for, you do not want to drive out all the time to get your groceries, or you want to get a food, or buy something, then Emerald 9 is the place for you, right? Because at the press of a button, your lift actually takes you down to where the shops are. All right, so that's convenience, and you don't have to drive because, like I said, the MRT line is just 400 meters away. You just walk to the MRT, then that's it. You leave your car behind, you help the environment, and then you save your guests, cost. Yeah. So here we have 4 residential towers for sale, and these are all what we call it. We actually built this more for young first-time home buyers, but of course, to our surprise, not only the first-time home buyers are interested in this project, there are also many families that are interested in this project. That's why our bigger units, which is above 1,000 square feet, are also selling very well here. So because I think our customers can appreciate, our design concept, the thoughts that we put in, and then a lot of planning that goes into making this into a very unique integrated development, and the build quality, and here, as like I want to point out as well, that our planning here is actually very well thought of. This is something I want to emphasize on. Like for example, we have luxurious, waiting lounge. We have double volume drop off, and then we have a lot of facilities. We have 48 facilities throughout. So this is actually a development with the most facility in Cheras. All right, along the MRT line, and here we also, in our layouts, we are also very practical. All the spaces are all well thought of, and there is no airwell design. Okay, you can never find an airwell, a unit with that faces an airwell in Emerald 9, all right, or Emerald Hills. Any of our new developments, there's no airwell design. This is something that our management feels that it's not what we want to do. All right, so that provides better ventilation, better natural lighting, and better lifestyle or living livability to our customers, to our purchasers.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Did you just say 48 facilities?
Yes.
48. Wow, that is a lot of facilities in a place. Yeah, that's quite a number. Yeah, you will not get bored, huh?
Yeah.
You will be fit and not bored at all. Yeah, wow, that is quite extraordinary. That's really amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. We're learning so much here tonight with Andy Chua. So happy that he's with us tonight and sharing his passion on everything that Guocoland is doing in Malaysia. Of course, everybody is affected by the MCO, but I can see through Andy that he's not stopping. He's keep moving forward and making sure that developments are going very strong. 2 amazing projects going on right now, one in Rawang that you definitely have to watch, and then of course 2 beautiful towers in Cheras right now, Emerald Hills and Emerald 9. So check that out, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, we're only going to be here with Mr. Andy for another 10 minutes. So if you have any questions, I still have a lot of questions, but I'm happy to give you your question. I can push it ahead if you have. to Mr. Andy, and I'll be happy to ask it for you. So moving on, Andy, I have a quick question in between, right? Because you and Guocoland are doing so many things, right? And of course, based on what is happening in the country, there's a lot of stimulus packages. Banks are trying to do their part from their side. Based from a developer's perspective, and of course your perspective on top of that. You mentioned the HOC, like last year, also the government trying to stimulate, projects in Malaysia. In your opinion, what solutions should the government and the banks need to give to stimulate the market again?
Okay, I would say that the government has actually done has already announced some incentive to the SME sector, especially, and I believe that they should look into this sector more, because actually our country, is basically very much driven by SMEs, and also we should also look into the tourism industry. I believe that they are very badly affected. All right, and of course, the recent announcement from Bank Negara on the moratorium of 6 months loan repayment for individuals and SME is definitely a welcome relief for many. But specifically to your question, I think our government should also look into, in terms of property market, reduce the RPGT, which is the real property gains tax, and also the income tax, because everybody is suffering, most people are suffering, so we should look into that. And some companies are not making money, so there's no point you tax them as well, so you might as well look at reduce tax. And for us, property market, you should look into stamp duty waivers, and of course other incentive like what you mentioned, similar to the HOC campaign. And the government should continue to support the first-time home buyers by easing upfront payments, or providing soft loans to the banks to give it to the first-time home buyers. As for the banks, I would suggest that they look into relaxing their lending criteria and longer repayment period. This is to ease the burden of first-time home buyers, all right, and upgraders. And finally, of course, I would say we introduced the IBS, but with stricter checks. I think the last time in the IBS, there's not much clear guidelines, so I think that it was abused. But I believe the IBS actually helps by the buying public to actually buy houses for themselves, for their family. So I think the IBS is definitely something that the bank should relook at, or the Bank Negara side should look at.
Yes. I maybe have a little bit of a personal question, but that is just because I'm obviously not from Malaysia, right? You were mentioning the HOC, you're mentioning, tax relief, all great incentive. What about foreign buyers, threshold, right? Do you think they should look into that to give foreigners more opportunities in buying properties in Malaysia?
I think foreign purchase in Kuala Lumpur, the threshold, I think, is okay, is at 1 million ringgit, but in other states, I think it varies. So I think everybody should look at, to me, at 1 million ringgit. This is to help to stimulate the property market and the economy, because you need FDI to come in. And one way is to allow foreigners to buy properties that is priced at 1 million and above. Because, like, for example, in Selangor, it's 2 million, which,
yes,
it's very difficult for us to even sell 2 million to locals,
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I think that's a good point. We should look into the threshold as well.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Well, let's see what happens. Hopefully, they are listening in tonight a little bit and picking a few of your ideas and start to implement that as soon as possible. We mentioned it already earlier. We were talking about buyers. You mentioned that it's actually for buyers quite interesting to start looking in the market, because there's some interesting things happening. Usually in investors' world, you need to buy when the market is a little bit under pressure. If you would be talking to a potential buyer today, who was considering before the MCO of considering buying a property, would you advise him to move ahead and buy something at this time?
I would say yes, but of course, like I said earlier, you have to look at the development, whether it's a well conceptualized development in a sought after locations, and is developed by an reputable developer. Definitely, I think you should look into that. And I'm sure during MCO, all of us are staying at home, and we have time to evaluate our own residents, whether we need to upgrade, or we should also have time to analyze our investment portfolio, whether we should relook into it or diversify into property in terms of return and risk tolerance. And property is definitely a good investment if you are looking from an investment point of view, because it's appreciative in nature, and over the medium and long term. I'm not talking about short term. We're talking about long term. Medium term is appreciative in nature, and it's a means to lock in your wealth. All right, so definitely it's a good investment. And for upgraders, I think definitely you have to see, now that you're spending a lot of time at home, whether your residence now is good enough for you, for your family. Do you need to upgrade? So definitely, I think if you need to buy to upgrade, or you need to diversify your investment and go into a property investment, definitely you should buy. Yeah, that is my advice.
Very good, very good. I find it so interesting that you mentioned upgraders. I think because of the MCO, right, a lot of people are reevaluating their own homes, right, and they are realizing that something is missing, maybe, right? Something is not, they realize that something is not there. Do you think that will motivate people to actually actively start looking back into the market again?
I'm sure. If let's say you are, like I said, you are spending so much time at home, and then your kids are all with you, your wife or whoever extended family, or your mother, your parents, whatever in the house, whether it's sufficient for you. Are you finding it that is, because other times you are busy working, you may not have the opportunity to evaluate your own residence. But this is the time you evaluate and you think, whether do I need to upgrade? If you need to upgrade, then what are the choices out there? I think you should still look, because especially now, like for example, Guocoland, we are coming out with a 𝐂𝐿 campaign, which we are making it very easy for you to buy, and we are giving you a lot of incentive to buy as well. So you should definitely look into buying here.
Wonderful. I feel, Andy, like we can speak here for hours, on and on and on. But I of course don't want to take your whole evening, and also don't want to take the whole evening of the audience. But you're sharing so much great information, and we're coming close to an end right now. I have 2 questions left for you. However, what I just want to do in the meantime, very quickly, is because I came across a very interesting video that Guocoland made, especially for the MCO time and for the a little campaign that they have been running. Would it be okay if I show it very quickly to our audience?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, here it comes. Wow, that's such a great video. Really, really great initiative to set it up all together. Well done from your side and from your team. Thank you so much for sharing that to everybody. Andy, like I said, I only have like 2 questions left. Guocoland has sold already many properties over the years that it has been here in the market in Malaysia. We talked a lot about buyers, right? Let's go to the homeowners, people that own a place, right? That have a property right now. What advice would you give to homeowners in the next 12 to 24 months?
Basically, it's what I shared earlier. Whether you are looking to upgrade or your first-time home buyer. If you're a first-time home buyer, you should look at a new development that is located in a very convenient location, all right, and it has the environment that you want for your new family, that you're going to build. That's the reason why I mentioned about Emerald Hills, if you're looking in KL, and Emerald Rawang if you're looking in Rawang. Definitely these two developments would be good, to look into for first-time home buyers, and for Emerald Line as well if you're looking for convenience. Right? And because you see the younger buyers, definitely they are looking for convenience. That's what I believe, right? Because both husband and wife or boyfriend, girlfriends, they'll be working, so they are looking for convenience. So definitely Emerald Line fits into the convenience lifestyle. As upgraders, they should be looking at moving on to a bigger house, which is why I mentioned that in Emerald Rawang, we are coming out with a semi-D, link semi-D, that is definitely bigger than whatever terrace that you're staying in or a condominium unit you're staying in, and it's not too far, and it's sustainable township with a lot of greens, with a very good lifestyle, with a clubhouse, and a central park, So I think you should still continue to buy your house, like I said, despite all this current pandemic situation, in the next 12 to 24 months, or even immediate, if you think there's a need to buy immediately. Right? Property is, to me, is a need, right? If you have a roof over your head, So buying a good property will ensure that the value locks in and it will appreciate over time. And buying a good property will also help your family to have the lifestyle that you want for them.
Yes. Thank you so much again for clarifying that. You're right. You in my question, buyers, homeowners, just to clarify a little bit more on the question. I was also trying to understand a little bit the people that just bought a home at Guocoland, right? That just bought a home, and have that property, what? And they're getting scared, right? Like, oh my God, this MCO, I just bought a home, What advice would you give them?
Sorry, can you repeat the question again?
Of course. So let's say the people that just bought a home, just recently bought a home, either, with Guocoland, and, they are in right now, and maybe they feel a little bit insecure now. They're like, oh, wow, this pandemic, I just bought a home, right? But a home, you said, is a good investment, actually. What advice would you tell them? Like, should they just, stay calm and everything should be okay?
Yeah, definitely. I think, like I said, a home or property is not a short-term investment. It's a medium, long-term investment, all right? So if you have just a home, you shouldn't think about, ditching your home, or panicking over your new purchase. You should actually persevere, and remain resilient and see through this period, because a home is where you have a roof over your head. And if let's say that we are talking about homeowners, not investors, so homeowners, you should think about why you buy it in the first place. It's because it's of the environment, the location, and then the concept of development. So it did not change. It's still there. The location is still there. The concept is still there. The environment is still there. So you shouldn't be panicking.
Very good. Thank you so much for clarifying that. Thank you so much. Andy, we have come to an end. I only have one question left, but before I ask that question, I want to make sure that I thank you so much for your time and for your great, sharing with us here tonight at the CSX Live. So wonderful to hear and learn from what Guocoland is doing. As a final question, around the world, we are all adjusting to the new reality. And as part of our lives, and as a result of what is happening through the COVID-19, what is your message to encourage all the communities out there?
I would say this is definitely impacting our lives. What we should do is basically to actually stay safe, stay home, until this thing is over. And even after for us, MCO, after MCO is lifted, we should still practice social distancing, and we should, take care of our hygiene, all right, of our health. But in the meantime, during this period, stay safe, exercise, all right, and learn, as much as you can through webinars like this, or other means like YouTube or whatever, Facebook, live or whatever platforms that interest you, and enrich ourselves during this period. Yeah.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you so much. Really great. Again, a huge thank to you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your sharing. Thank you for being with us. We hope to welcome you once again in the future with all your great sharing. And good luck to you. Good luck to your projects. Good luck to your team also. And a big, huge thanks to you for being with us tonight, Mr. Andy Chua.
You're welcome, Taco. Thanks for inviting me.
Yes, absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to an end of tonight's session. And you saw it, Mr. Andy has shared so many great things. So if you feel that this is really going to benefit your friends, your families, just give it a share. This will definitely bring them great value. We talked about a lot of things, the MCO, we talked about, all the projects, the project in Rawang, the project in Cheras, and make sure that you go to the Guocoland website, because you can see all the projects that they are launching in the near future, all on their website, and also make sure to follow their Facebook page. And I also understand that they will have an online event coming up this upcoming Saturday at 2:30 p.m. if I'm correctly, right? So make sure to be there. Mr. Andy Chua will be there again. For now, this brings us to an end, and I think it would be a nice way of ending the session by playing that very nice video one more time of what you put together. Is that a good idea, Andy?
Yes, sure.
Okay. Everybody, have a good evening. Thank you for joining us here. We will see you next time again on the CSX Live. Have a great evening and see you soon. Bye-bye.